Well, hello there. How are you doing? I am so happy to see you again. Thank you for joining us again for another Friday with me, Michelle Green, and Credit and Financial Tips. We are super excited that you are here. So listen, make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now at Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. Make sure that you tell a friend, tell a family member, tell somebody that you are watching the KBCR TV show that is empowering you to have financial dominion on purpose. That's right. That's what we do here at the KBCR TV show. We talk about credit, we talk about finances, and today we're going to get into a very picky topic about our kids. That's right. So we don't want anybody to miss it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, set your notification so you do not ever miss another episode of the KBCR TV show that is powered by the way by CTR Media Network. Hey, all right. So listen, guys, let's get into today's topic. Now, as we do every single Friday from 12:30 to 1, we begin by talking about what is credit. Credit is the ability for you to make a purchase for something that you don't have the money for right now. So if you don't have enough money, what that means is you got to get your income up. Once you get your income up, then you're able to go ahead and begin to make some purchases. As long as you have something on paper that solidifies that you're consistently bringing in an income, then you have the opportunity to be able to establish credit. So what is credit exactly? Credit is the ability to be able to go to a bank or a credit union and obtain credit for something that you don't have enough money for right now to pay for. So if you're trying to buy a car, if you're trying to buy a house, if you need some extra clothes, shoes, or whatever it is, you have the ability to establish credit, and you would do that through coming over to Kingdom Builders Credit Repair so we can do it the right way, okay? All right, so come on into the room. Let's get started on today's topic. So today we are going to discuss the under 18, the person that is under 18, our kids, our children, our grandchildren, our family members, maybe a niece or nephew that is getting ready to graduate from high school or even in middle school or elementary. We want to begin by getting them started with the right mindset around credit. So how do we do that? The first thing we got to understand is that we got to begin to teach our children about credit. So what is credit in addition to money? So when we think about credit, the thing that happens before we gain credit is money. So when we are looking at teaching our kids about credit, we got to teach them about money. So one of the things that happened this week with me personally is as I was going to pay one of the balances off for a building and whatnot, and I'll tell y'all about that a little bit later, but I was going to pay off a balance for one of my bills, let's just say that. And in doing so, I withdrew a lot of cash and I allowed my 12-year-old to hold the cash for me. So this was his first experience of holding $100 bill. So when we think about teaching our kids, the first thing that we got to do is get out of the mindset of thinking that we can only teach our kids after they become an adult. We have to teach our kids at a very early age. So 12 is a good number, 13 going into their teens, or even a little younger if they are responsible kids. And you can start out with thinking about things like what kind of snacks do they like? What kind of things do they like as toys or gifts? What kind of things do they really entertain themselves with as they grow older? And when they are a kid, what you can do is begin to allow them to earn money. You can allow them to begin to earn the money that they want to make the purchases of the things that they like and they want, so that they can get used to handling the cash money. And in addition to cash, one of the other things that I do with my 12-year-old, as I did with my older children that are now grown and some with children of their own, I would allow them to go in and pay for the debt or the the bill that I owed. I would allow them to go in with me so that they can see the transactions. Sometimes I would allow them to go to the grocery store and handle the actual debit or credit card that I was making the purchase with. So we have to engage our children with this mindset that this is just a regular routine of life. Just like we have dinner on the table every day, just like we put clothes on their back, we have to teach them about how to handle money. So we need to get them very familiar with a debit or credit card. We want to also get them familiar with the cash money so that they can count the money, especially our youngsters at elementary. We want them to have the understanding of what is a dollar versus a $5 bill, what is a $10 bill, what's a $20 bill, and what's a $50 bill. I mean, how often do we come across a $50 bill that we can allow our children to begin to engage in understanding that there are different levels of money. There are different numbers in the money game. So they need to be made aware so that they are not taken advantage of even by us, because sometimes we get, the grandparents to give our kids money or a family member or a friend or something, and then we give them like maybe a few ones in exchange for a $10 bill. I know what we be doing out there. I've seen it myself, and I have had that experience in my own personal life with my kids. So I know we do that, but we want our kids to be very aware of what it is that we are handling when it pertains to the amount of money. So they're not confused when they see a $20 bill versus a $10 bill. They're not confused of 10 ones versus $10. And they would also graduate eventually to a point where they would be able to understand what it is like to hold $100 bill in their hands. And you can even take that a little bit further. $1,000 bill, like when you're paying your mortgage or you're paying your rent. Allow the kids to handle the actual cash. Show them the bank account. And that would be my next thing. So point two about having someone that's under the age of 18, a definite do is to make sure that you establish a bank account for your child. When I say a bank account, not just a checking account, but also a savings account. Just like we establish piggy banks, we have our little piggy bank for our kids when they're first born and whatnot, whether it's a Coca-Cola bottle or an actual piggy. We want to make sure that the kids understand that they have to transfer this cash from the piggy bank to the bank account. This is the place, a financial institution that houses our money. So just like we have our money going into a direct deposit at a checking or a savings account, we need to teach our kids that they also have to have a checking and a savings account to put their money inside of, so that that is the proper place for the money to be housed. And not just that, but also beginning to teach them about interest rates and the difference between checking and savings accounts. So the savings is there for the purpose of us saving over a period of time. And once our savings account reaches a certain goal amount, let's say the goal amount for your child is to receive $100. So once that child builds up that savings account to $100, then teach them how to move that money from that original savings account into a different type of investment. And if you don't know much about that, then that's what we teach you here at KBCR, Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. So definitely get in our program, go to our website, call us at 844-522-7552. Get into the program so we can help not just you, but help your kids to have a solid future. Now, once they get that bank account established with the checking and the savings, teach them that the checking account is for the deposits and the savings is for something that they want to achieve over time down the road. So one of the things that my 12-year-old son did when he was about 8 or 9 years old is he wanted to upgrade his bike. So we allow him to save his money, transfer it to the bank account, and then when he had enough money, we went right to the store and made the purchase of his bike. and he was so happy and he was so confident that he could do this. So a lot of times what happens is we as kids, we watch our parents or our guardians and we see the cycle that they are in as it pertains to money. And the cycle that they are in may not necessarily be the best cycle. So what happens is that we end up developing the same cycles as we go into adulthood, which are sometimes just not beneficial for us. So we want to establish some good habits for our kids. We want to establish some really good habits for our children. So we want to make sure that they get the checking account so they understand that this is where the money goes in, and that they can have multiple bank accounts. They can have at least a minimum of 2 different bank accounts. So they'll understand that one is for the deposits and the other checking account at a different bank is for the expenses of the things that they would like to purchase. And this will help them to automatically be on board with automatic drafts and understanding how to separate their money that's coming in from the money that's going out. So that's a really big deal and something that we ourselves can begin to exercise in our money and financial credit advice. Okay, so next we are looking at when we think about the child once they get up to the point where they're ready to actually start establishing some credit. So they got their bank accounts, they understand they're saving a little bit of money here and there. They are moving the money from place to place because money is always moving. That's the reason why money is called currency, exchange, or trade, is because simply when it pertains to finances, when it pertains to actual money, that is something that is always going to be moved. We are going to either be paying bills or we're going to be saving and investing. We're going to be moving the money from place to place. So money is never just stagnant and sitting at a place and it's not doing anything, or at least it should not be. Okay, so we got that under our belt. So the next thing we want to talk about is a lot of us do or have heard of that we should establish a authorized line of credit for our kids. Once they become of age, they're 18, they're fresh out of high school, or maybe they're still in high school, finishing up that last year, and we go to the authorized user option. So an authorized user literally means that someone is going to ride the credit of someone who has a better credit portfolio. So when we think about our parents or you yourself as a parent or grandparent, and you're thinking about how can you make sure that your children have a secure future? How can you make sure that that child starts off in the finance and the credit game winning and running with wealth? Well, one of the things that you can do is not establish, and I repeat, not establish an authorized user account. Well, you're probably thinking, Michelle, well, why in the world would you say that? Because when we think about an authorized user account, an authorized user account is an account that someone is going to be piggybacking on someone else's credit. That also means that the original primary credit person, that person who you are, or a grandparent, a parent, whomever is actually the main core individual that has the actual credit established, they are only going to receive the higher credit score points. So you're going to receive anywhere from 50 to 100 points for the line of credits that are on your credit report, but the authorized user will only receive between 2 to 5 points for them riding your credit. Now, as it pertains to how the lenders, the creditors, are viewing the actual credit report, when they look at an authorized user, they know immediately that this person did not establish any type of credit in their own name. So when it pertains to us and trying to build up our children's credit, the worst thing you can do is set up your child as an authorized user on your credit. So they are attached to your credit, they're riding your credit, they're riding your coattail, and they cannot ride or establish an actual line of credit themselves. So the lenders are going to throw out the opportunity for them to really be able to begin to build the proper credit profile for themselves. So number one, if you go ahead and establish the bank account, there will already be something in the system that signifies that this child, this person will be able to have credit of their own. So the goal is not to have an authorized user, but to allow the individual child to be able to build their own credibility. They need their own reputation. So if they already got a bank account, their reputation has already begun. One of the things that we know about credit is character is everything. So we want a good reputation for the child, for the one that's under 18 or over 18, that's just starting out in the world and beginning to align their life with building credit. So we don't want to do an authorized user. Now, there is a difference between an authorized user and a cosigner. So if you are trying to build your child's credit, one of the major things that you can do is go ahead and establish the one that is over 18, 18 or older. You can go ahead and establish a credit card, a secured credit card. A secure credit card means that the bank or the credit union that normally would lend you the credit because your credit score is already up there, let's say 600 or higher, they would go ahead and give you a credit limit. But with a secure credit card, you would actually have to put the money on the credit. So if the child already has a bank account and that has a savings account, so they're already used to saving money, then you can literally take the money that they have in the savings account and use that as the security deposit towards the credit card to actually begin to build their own credit. So don't do the authorized user. Make sure that you follow the steps that I am providing to you so that you can build the child's credit properly. So when we think about this person, this child that is building their credit, we want to understand that we are going to start them with a secure credit card, which means that we are using the creditor's credibility. So that could be the bank or the credit union. Not all banks or credit unions where you have a checking and a savings account at are going to allow a secure credit card. So that's why you need Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. So go ahead and give us a call. Sign up today if you're not already in our program. And if you are in our program, ask us questions so that we can help you and your children with their credit. So we have a whole list of companies that we know that kids can actually gain credit with. And did you know that the kids that are going to college, they have student credit cards, literal student credit cards that your children that are going to college can actually obtain, sort of like a starter credit card. So they already understand they're not going to have anything on their credit other than their name, their address, their social date of birth, and maybe a workplace if they were working in the workforce between the ages of 16 to 18 or older. So they would already have a profile. When it comes to the student credit cards, the child would be able to get a student credit card over doing a secure credit card, but anybody can actually establish a secure credit card. That is one of the number one ways that you can build credit for your child and even for yourself. So we want to make sure that all the kids have a secure credit card after they have established their bank account. They must have a checking and a savings account for them as the opportunity to build up that profile. All right, so they got the credit card, but they, in addition to the credit card, they need a loan of some kind. If you remember watching in the previous videos that we talked about, when it comes to credit, credit is established in two parts. It's established always with either a credit card or a department store card, and there is a difference between the two, or it's established with a loan of some kind. So a student loan, a personal loan, a vehicle loan, a mortgage loan, even, any kind of loan will help your child to build their credibility. So one of the things that we recommend as it relates to building up your child's credit is after they have the secured credit card or the student credit card, then you would go and either allow them to establish a vehicle loan if they are in the arena of wanting to get a vehicle of their own. You can start them out with a small vehicle, and then you can co-sign for them. Now, I don't normally recommend co-signing for anybody. I'm telling you right now, because when you co-sign, you're saying that you're responsible for the debt. So if you don't want to be responsible for paying off the final balance of that vehicle or any other type of debt, then don't put your name on anything with the kids. I know with my children, as the older kids were coming up, guess what? I didn't put my name on anything, but I made sure that I built their credibility so that by the time that they were ready to go to college, they already had almost 700 credit scores. Every single one of the older children had high credit scores and still continue to have their high credit scores as they are going throughout the rest of their 20s and one that's in their 30s now. So it definitely works. I've done it myself and I recommend it to so many thousands of people that have been through our program, currently in our program. So we want to make sure that they have the understanding that they have to get a loan in addition to the card, because credit is in two parts. You have to have some type of card and you have to have a loan. So if they're trying to get a vehicle, you can start out with something that's small, something that's even available for them to be able to pay off within 1 to 2 years instead of 5 to 7 years like we would normally finance our vehicles. And if you are the kind of parent that is going to help them to make that payment, like I said, that's fine if you co-sign, but just make sure that your financial stability is in place so that you do not obtain any late payments. There's no hiccups that cross references your own vehicle with their vehicle, but do understand that that is a really good way for you to get their credit score to jump. Now, if you don't want to go into a vehicle purchase, you can do a furniture purchase. So you can actually go in and help your child to build up a furniture purchase, allowing them to begin to buy something. Maybe they want to change their room up a little bit. Maybe they want a new bed, they need a new mattress. Maybe they need, something that they want to just buy outright. So when we look at the furniture, maybe they need a desk or something, whatever it is, allow them to be able to get that TV, to get that, phone purchase or something that is going to create a loan of some kind. So furniture is usually my second go-to recommendation, because when it comes to furniture, if you're not doing a vehicle, it's going to have a larger line of a loan amount than the credit card that they are establishing. So the credit card limits usually run between $200 to about $500 or more. And then with the loan purchases, it could be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 or more. And that usually is the average when we're thinking about building the child's credit. Now, you do, as a parent or a grandparent or guardian, need to monitor how they are spending their money. So the habits that you have around money are also going to spill over into how they manage the money, how they manage the credit. So we want to start early as possible to make sure that they are on the right path and they are disciplined enough to understand that if this debt is not paid by the due date, that it's going to have a significant impact on their credit. And we got to make sure that we are practicing those good habits so that they will practice the good habits of making sure that they're not late, making sure that they are paying ahead of time. If they're due on the 1st of the month, then they should have paid on the 15th of the previous month, because that's how credit works. Credit works where the due date is the final day to pay the debt. We have talked about this in the previous video, so you can definitely go back and click on the previous videos around how credit works and the different videos that we discussed around making the late payment. But I just want to emphasize for you guys, they have to have a credit card of some kind, and they have to have a loan of some kind in order for them to be able to move forward to make a larger purchase for their own credit. It cannot be in your name alone or you as the primary person that is holding all of the credibility. It has to be that their name is on the purchase of the debt. So that's why we must set aside that checking and savings account so they can begin to build up the savings, even if it's just $1 every now and then or $5 every now and then. Over the lifetime of the child, you will be amazed at how much money they can actually set aside if they are used to being disciplined to take their cash to the bank or to see and monitor the bank account direct deposits. Then they will have good credit habits of making sure that they do not falter when they establish their credit. Now, once they get this credit card and this loan in place, whether it's a furniture loan or a vehicle loan of some kind, and then of course we have those that are going to college that have student loans. Now, student loans are not necessarily the best option as a loan for our children, but they do count. The only issue is that with most of the student loans, you're going to have multiple loans as a child continues to go to school. So every quarter, every semester is going to kick out a new loan amount, but they don't necessarily consider that to be really good debt. So that's why we have to go for the actual credit card and the furniture company or the vehicle loan. And you could even do a small personal loan with the same bank that they have a bank account with. So that's the whole objective, is to understand that all credit is going to be financed from some type of bank or credit union in the first place. Some type of financial institution is the place that's going to always offer us some type of debt. So we got to start our kids out with learning how to manage money, get the bank account, get the credit card, get the loan, and then they will have a perfect score of at least a 680 to 700. That is where they will start out. And with a 680 to 700 credit score, you're already in the middle class to upper class level with credit, which means that they don't have to worry about getting anything. They could go anywhere and make a purchase of whatever it is that they want. They could even buy a house with a 680, 700 credit score if they wanted to. But that might be a little bit too much responsibility early in the age. I don't know. It just depends on the child, because I purchased my first home at the age of 23. So I'm just saying, if you have that kind of kid that is good at responsibilities and you've been training them all the way up into adulthood, then you have the same opportunity to allow your child to financially pull together their portfolio and allow them to flourish in success with credit and finances. Now, if you have any questions, please put your comments below and definitely reach out to us at 844-522-7552, or you can go to our website, www.kingdombuilderscreditrepair.com. And if you're thinking about signing up, listen, go ahead and sign up today from our website. You can call us. You can even email us at info@kbcrllc.com, and I'm going to put the application below just to make sure that you have the opportunity to get in where you fit in with your credit. Now, at the end of all of this, I did say something about what I was doing at the very beginning. I was going to pay a bill. So I want you guys to know that we have partnered with CTR Media Network, and we're going to have an event in October that is going to be a mind-blowing experience. It is going to leave history. So if you are not doing anything, actually, even if you're doing something, make sure that you are coming to the Media and Wealth Summit on October the 11th, 2025, from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. Who's going to be there? Yours truly. And guess what we're going to be doing? Teaching you in person solutions and secrets around credit, around finances. If you're enjoying the Kingdom Builders Credit Repair TV show, then you will be mind blown by being at this event. We're going to have food. We're going to have all type of music. We're going to be dancing. We're going to be, I'm trying to tell you, I can't even describe all the things that we're going to do. We are going to have a blast. So we are going to have special guests, our very own CTR Media Network owner, Dr. Tina J. Ramsey is going to be there in person. She is the one that is streaming all of these TV shows and this social media that you see out here. And I know y'all didn't see me before, but you see me now. So here I am, okay? So that's how we're doing that. And you'll get a chance to meet her alongside other amazing, I'm talking about wealthy, amazing speakers. They are going to teach you how to do money. They're going to teach you how to do credit. They're going to teach you how to do finances in addition to myself. And we're going to teach those business owners how to do business the right way, getting themselves out there in front of a camera, how to get the exposure so they can gain the clientele. I'm trying to tell you, this is something that you do not want to miss. So I want to just show you exactly who's going to be there. Let's just take a quick peek at the Media and Wealth Summit. How can you get tickets? You can go to Eventbrite. Right now, go to Eventbrite and look up the Media and Wealth Summit, and you will be able to purchase your tickets. Now, let me just tell you, you want to get a VIP ticket because that VIP ticket is the one that you want to receive so you can get all the goodies. Now, we're going to have some bags for everybody, general public, but that VIP seating, you're going to be front and center stage with all of us, and you will also have the opportunity to be able to come up to us and have like privileges and benefits that everybody else won't have. Now, if you are a business owner and you're thinking about advertising your company, definitely reach out to us. You can call me at 844-522-7552. You can call our business side, which is 855-522-8552. You can call us there, but you want to go ahead and give us a call so we can get you a vendor table so you can set your business up to be able to get new business. And we're going to be teaching you how to do business as well. So it's going to be thebomb.com. But I just wanted to share that with you guys to let y'all know that we are really trying to move mountains. We are trying to change lives, and it is going to happen at this Media and Wealth Summit. For those of you who have already bought tickets, put your name below so I can know that you have already got your ticket so we can celebrate together. Woo! I am so excited. Listen, and I just also want to give a quick shout out to everyone that voted for Michelle Green, that voted for the KBBU Business University School that we have for entrepreneurs. We won the Best of South Carolina for the entire year. I am so honored and grateful for this opportunity to be the best of our actual state. So this is what we were able to win because of you, because the foundation of the business school started right here with every single one of our Kingdom Builders Credit Repair clients. So I just personally want to say thank you to everyone that voted, everyone that supported us in everything that we've done. I really appreciate you and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. All right, that's all we have for today. Let me know what you learned from the Kingdom Builders Credit Repair TV show, and we'll see you next Friday from 12:30 to 1 at KBCR TV. All right, y'all take care. Bye-bye.
At Kingdom Builders Credit Repair, you are more than a customer. You are a partner in your credit repair journey. We offer one-on-one guidance in a warm and friendly atmosphere. Kingdom Builders Credit Repair, empowering people to have financial dominion on purpose. Visit us online at www.kingdombuilderscreditrepair.com.
1320 Main Street, Suite 300, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Call 844-KBCR LLC. 844-KBCR LLC.